Hi guys, some of you have asked me about the differences between the new and the old Doyle, and I thought I'd do a very quick video reply instead of a full proper comparison video. And the reason for that is, if you're going to decide on one, I hope you can still catch the tail end of the AliExpress sale. As I understand it, the PNSO figures will be discounted, and shipping will also be free to the US, so that's a deal worth catching. Now this video isn't going to be my usual standard, so I might do a proper one down the road, but I thought the priority should be beating the end of the AliExpress sale. Now you asked about comparison, particularly in relation to accuracy. I would say that both are pretty accurate, but as you can see, there are differences. Now let's start at the head here. In the frill, you see the kind of curve here that's more traditionally depicted in images of Triceratops, while in the new Doyle, it has a flatter appearance, and especially from the front, you see something more akin to Torosaurus. And this was based on AMNH 5116, which some people suspect might actually be a Torosaurus because so much of the back frill was lost that this was reconstructed from plaster. So a lot of the images you see of the AMNH 5116 specimen have actually been filled in. So that means that the two fenestrations that clue you into Torosaurus or not are absent. I even suspect that PNSO may have been aware of this, and so they've hedged their bets a little by giving us a more intermediate morphology. Then we have the epoxipitals. And you also have these more pro-curved horns. Now compared to this new Doyle, you can see that in the new one, these epoxipitals are fused, and the horns start to have a recurved form. Based on this, I'd argue that the old Doyle represents a younger animal, while the new one is an older Triceratops. The frill, of course, is a lot more colourful in the old one. The eyes are finer on the new than the old. You can see here that detail and texture-wise, the old one is still really quite good. Of course, it lacks the fineness of the new, but the main things like the nippling seen in the Lane specimen, and even the suggestion of quills coming out from them, are demonstrated here in the old. It's nice they've demonstrated this one possible idea, although if you watch my new Doyle review, you'll see that some people argue against this interpretation. Even the texture of the keratin on the nasal and the orbital horns are very good on the old one. Now both of them have articulated jaws, although in the old one, this tissue here looks more like cheeks, while the new one is the AMES muscle. So I think it also depends which one you prefer. Now other than that, nothing much about it deviates from the accepted bow plan. You have the correct number of toes. And here in the hand, two lateral toes are non-weight bearing, as should be the case. Although on the old Doyle, weirdly enough, you'll see that on the right hand, the fourth is actually clawed, which shouldn't be the case. So you can just take this as a genetic mutation of some sort. Now one little thing I forgot to mention in my review is the presence of the Europatagium here, which connects the legs to the tail. We know that Psittacosaurus had one from some soft tissue imprints, and so it's likely that most ceratopsians had them too. That's of course missing in the old Doyle. Now, outside of accuracy, there are a few other considerations. First, the old one is definitely bigger than 1:35. I estimate it to be closer to 1:31 scale. So if scale is important to you, especially if you have a collection of 1:35 dinosaurs, you might want to think about that. Now next, the old one has a base. Now the colors aren't as vibrant as the first run ones, but still I think you can see it's better than nothing. If you could paint up this lackluster job, I think it will be a nice addition. Thirdly is the pose. Now I like the new one for the Charles R. Knight vibe, but the old one I have to say is far more dynamic. I like this liveliness. But if you were to pose him next to the new Wilson T-Rex, then the different scales will become very obvious, unless you assume an abnormally large Triceratops or an abnormally small T-Rex. And finally, you have the price. The new Doyle with the sale is US $47, while the old one is $35. So it's about a $12 difference. The old Doyle now comes packaged as a museum line, so you also get the posters and so on with it as well, if you care about such things. So that's a little short video. I hope it serves you, and I hope that you can get this on time and then catch the sale on AliExpress. So take care now.